All right, YouTube, is YVNG Taz back with another video per usual. This time we're gonna be reacting to something that's a little bit different that we don't really do, but it's it's educational around this channel, and we love reacting to educational stuff, man. But this is a video by Fern, and it's titled "The Mutated Animals of Chernobyl." I don't even know how this works when everything is supposed to be dead, because isn't this where like the nuclear plant exploded and all that? But I really don't know what happened, if I'm being honest. I just know like the little details, the things everybody else hears about. But everything I react to is live on my Twitch channel. It's gonna pop up right there. It might be a little dark, so go hit one of the links in the description, follow one of those, like, comment, subscribe, and we're gonna get right into this video.
Something about this forest feels off.
I forgot everything in this Infern videos are animated, bro. This threw me off. I'm like, this is what it look like now?
Pines twist into bizarre shapes.
Bizarre.
Spider webs hang crooked and uneven. Red firebugs are crawling on the ground, but the patterns on their backs are warped. A bird flies
It's a
overhead.
tornado vid? No, bro.
Its beak is
No,
deformed.
I'm not doing that.
There's a reason for all this. This forest sits inside a highly radioactive exclusion zone. It's one of the most contaminated places on Earth.
Shouldn't everything be
Not
dead
far
though?
from
Am I
here,
wrong?
The largest nuclear disaster in history happened in 1986.
A nuclear accident in the Soviet Union, and the Soviets have admitted that it happened.
Deadly radiation is being released from
Thousands
It was in 86. I thought it was like way longer than that.
died from the radiation's immediate and long-term
I got further
effects.
channels for you to react to.
For humans, the
Bro.
area remains mostly uninhabitable until
If it's the same ones you told me about like a while ago, don't even waste your time, bro.
today. But nature stayed. Plants and animals, wolves, deer, wild horses, birds, and insects. But the radiation changed them.
Shouldn't they still be dying soon though? Nah, that was tough. I ain't gonna hold you.
Spring 1986, in the dead of the night.
Yo, whoever animated
Reactor
this,
4 at the Chernobyl nuclear power plant has just exploded. Massive amounts of highly radioactive material like iodine and cesium are hurled into the air. The radiation seeps into the cells of all living things in the area, including this deer. 30 minutes after the blast, it's dizzy and barely able to stay on its feet.
Okay.
The radiation has burned the mucosal tissue inside its digestive tract. Cells all across its body start dying.
Yup.
Blood circulation in the brain falters.
Yup.
And since the blood can't flow properly, pressure builds inside the skull.
Everything that I learned
The
about
deer's blood pressure
radioactive.
crashes. It suffers seizures and multiple organs fail.
And then dies.
The next day, the deer is dead.
Okay.
In the following days and weeks, the pine needles change color.
And then everything else
First to
dies
yellow,
within like
then to red.
the first week.
Trees die for kilometers around, giving the area a new name: the Red Forest. A few kilometers away, a shepherd dog lives in the town of Pripyat. For the past day, it's been feeling unwell, tired and nauseous. Its owners are worried. They too feel under the weather, though they don't know why.
The forests around the nuclear site aren't aren't contaminated as now as they were before. Well, duh. Like the half-lives and stuff, all this atoms and all that, and like the half-lives and everything. But like every time you hear radioactive, you always think of like the next 100 years. So like within those 100 years, everything should technically be dead or dying. Like even with mutations, like you still like, I don't know.
And a voice
Science to it.
crackles over the
That science is
radio
way too
with an
advanced for me.
announcement.
There's only so much I know.
Внимание, внимание! Уважаемые товарищи! Городской совет народных депутатов.
Residents are informed about an accident
No,
at a nearby
live.
nuclear plant,
All
but they are
bruh.
assured everything
Bro
is
got a
under
built-in
control.
hazmat suit
Just to be safe, people are told to leave town for 3 days. And
for
to
3
leave their
days.
pets behind.
Okay, so iodine and cesium can't be that. Bruh, whatever. Bruh. Where is cesium even on the, what's it called? Ain't cesium CS? Nuclear, no, it's periodic table. I don't know what I'm typing. Hold up, bro. Gotta do some research. Cesium is, yeah, right here. Iodine is I. Okay, bro. They might not be that serious. It's like the ones that's like a little bit lower, like the lactanides or whatever. Lanthananides, yeah, those thingies. I'm such a nerd.
behind. The family assumes they'll be back
I don't know
soon,
the individual
so
specs.
they leave enough food for the dog for a few days.
They
But the Soviet authorities are lying. They're doing everything in their power to cover up a nuclear disaster of unprecedented. They're for the dog hind.
What?
The family assumes they'll be back soon, so they leave enough food for the dog for
You leave the dog, bro. You don't love the dog enough, bro. It's fact. There's no way you leave the dog in any situation.
a few days.
Not a single
But the
situation you leave your
Soviet
dog at home by
authorities
itself.
are lying. They're doing everything in their power to cover up a nuclear disaster of unprecedented.
It's usually uranium-265. I think that's a really bad one. Which is nuclear bombs and stuff. Okay, then that's probably one I'm thinking about. But uranium is lower than cesium, right? Because iodine is like, that's in a lot of stuff.
Scale. Like tens of thousands of
Well, I don't wanna
others,
say a lot of
this
stuff, but you know
family
what I mean.
will never return. Their
Bro,
dog
they just left the
is on
dog to
its
die,
own now.
bro. Oh my god. Even if it wasn't
3
radioactive
days
things, you left the
later,
dog to
the
die.
food is gone.
Like,
On the 4th day, he leaves the house, hungry and searching for anything to eat.
take them,
He
bro.
encounters other dogs wandering the empty streets. They too were abandoned and left behind. Suddenly, shots are fired. The Soviet authorities have ordered police to kill all stray dogs, an attempt to stop the animals from spreading radioactive material.
Okay,
the
that's
dogs
fair,
flee
but
into the forest.
what?
Just like all the other animals here, they
Uranium, I
find
think, is
themselves in the
these.
heart of the world's largest nuclear exclusion zone. Radiation remains dangerously high for months. Many animals develop chronic radiation sickness.
Yo, okay.
Blood pools in
Another.
their livers and
Yeah.
spleens. Lymph nodes swell. Thyroids fail.
So you
The
die
animals grow
eventually.
thin,
Everything
and
just
many
leads you to
die.
death until a while.
Over the next 10 years, radiation levels drop significantly.
Okay, so if it drops significantly, the half-life is mad short of you. Besides, do me a favor and look up what's the half-life of cesium. Tell me.
The only humans left are workers and guards looking after the ruins of the nuclear plant. Beyond that, the area is almost completely abandoned. In this vast and empty space, wildlife can spread freely. Over the years, the zone evolves into one of Europe's largest nature reserves. Countless animals settle in, bears and lynx, moose and foxes, and multiple packs of wolves. Even some of the original residents remain. Hundreds of street dogs, descendants of the pets left behind, roam the area. Swallows skim over the treetops. Frogs leap through the undergrowth. And they are all followed by their silent companion, the radiation.
Wait. Bugs, I feel like, can live a little bit longer because, like, the circulatory system they have, like the open one. But, like, things like deer and, like, the other ones, like, I don't know. I feel like I need to know the science behind this. Like, 30 years is the half-life of cesium. So that means it's probably, like, damn near gone away now,
The first
then.
thing you notice are the eyes.
One of the first signs of
Like 100%
exposure to
is gone now.
radiation is something called cataract in the eye. It's a cloudiness of the lens of the eye that happens to people who are exposed to higher levels of radiation.
That's Timothy Mousseau. He's a biology professor at the University of South Carolina. Few people know the creatures of Chernobyl as well as he does. He's talking to us from a research ship in the middle of the Pacific, studying
What
the
the
effects
heck?
of nuclear weapon testing on wildlife.
We've had many exciting visits to Chernobyl. I've been going to Chernobyl pretty much 2 or 3 times a year, sometimes 4 times a year.
A so-called cataract is a clouding of the lens in the eye. It's a common disease in humans known as gray star. It blurs the vision, and its most severe form can cause total blindness.
Bruh, the first time I ever heard of cataracts was in Edgar Allan Poe, The Black Cat. If you know, you know. I'm just saying. Happy Halloween, y'all.
The high radiation levels in Chernobyl cause many animals to develop cataracts. The landscape itself has changed too. This is what a natural pine forest looks
Polymerases
like.
contain
Green
some-
needles, straight trunks. And this is what a pine forest looks like in the most contaminated
land
areas of
explosion?
Chernobyl.
So they just had
This
everything from the
trunk is
people.
twisted, stunted, and misshapen. The wood has changed its color. If you look closely at the rings, you can see exactly when the disaster happened.
That's actually
Near the base,
insane.
there are these strange clusters of
That's insane that you can see the wood colors change from when radiation started seeping in it. That's
tangled
actually
leaves
crazy.
called witches' brooms. This forest doesn't just look eerily strange. It's a stark reminder of what our actions can do to nature. Seeing it can make you feel powerless, but it doesn't have to be that way. Planet Wild is a community-based environmental protection organization. Think of it as
Shout out them,
crowdfunding
man.
for nature. Every month, their community
One of the few tads on skip.
funds a carefully selected rewilding project to restore forests, bring back endangered species, and protect the oceans. Planet Wild documents all their projects in monthly videos so
No,
you
that's
can
tough.
see how your
That's tough.
contribution helps to protect nature. In one of their latest projects, they used chainsaw detectors to protect one of Europe's last ancient forests. Of course, environmental protection also involves broader systemic and regulatory change. At the same time, collective efforts like these are essential to the larger cause. Support Planet Wild's mission
I wanna
by
do
scanning
stuff
the
like that,
QR
bro.
code or
That's so
clicking
cool.
the
Stuff
link
like
in the
that's so cool.
description. Pay whatever
Social
amount
media
feels
things
right
that
for
worship
you.
us in the
The
fears
first
'cause it's
100
the
people
best
to
in the
sign up
air.
using our code FERN10 will get their first month
that's
covered by
crazy.
us. You can cancel anytime after that.
Bro, if
Every
I had
forest
bread to
has
waste like
spider
that, I would
webs.
definitely do it.
Normally, they're neat and symmetrical like
That's the type of
this.
money I'll spend. That's the
But
type of stuff
here,
I'll spend
in
my money on.
Chernobyl's most contaminated areas, the gaps in the strands are far too large. The patterns are warped and chaotic. This is what a barn swallow usually looks like. Note the distinctive combination of blue-black feathers and a red face. This one from Chernobyl has white patches on its face.
Damn.
Its tail feathers are crooked and its beak deformed, stuck slightly open. A lump protrudes beneath its plumage. A tumor. Many changes are not visible from the outside. You can't see that the swallow will live a shorter life and have lower chances to successfully
which
reproduce. Red firebugs are native to Central Europe. They're vibrant
That's the main reason why hair streaming, I guess, I get livable now. Good to know.
red and
Good
black
looks, though.
coloring with its
Good looks,
symmetrical
'cause I didn't know
patterns
that.
helps ward off potential predators. But Chernobyl
Since when it gets into
firebugs
the
are
ground, that's when it gets
different.
bad. Okay.
The patterns on their backs are warped and
Makes sense, that makes
asymmetrical.
sense.
Some are missing an eye and the fine black lines are blurred. All of these changes trace back to mutations in the genetic code. This is where the DNA is stored, the blueprint for the insect's entire organism. DNA is made up of two strands, twisted together in a shape called a double helix.
Yup.
It's made up of base pairs. The genetic information is stored in the sequence of these bases, kind of like a computer carrying information using ones and zeros. Several of those bases form a gene. The body reads the sequence through complex molecular processes. Genes act as a blueprint. They determine how the bug looks, the pattern on its back, and what it
I ain't gonna lie, he just taught genetic information way better than any teacher who's ever taught it to me in my life.
can and
Facts.
cannot digest.
Facts.
They also influence how long it lives, its vulnerability to certain diseases, and even its behavior.
Like I swear he just did.
Scientists believe these
swear he just
blueprints
did.
make up only a tiny fraction of our DNA. Studies in humans suggest that around 8 to 15% of DNA are functional and actively doing something important. Radioactive atoms like uranium and cesium are unstable. They decay spontaneously, releasing radiation. That radiation carries so much energy it
always
can
go
damage living cells
have
the
you always known
moment
about
it
them?
makes contact. It can break DNA directly or split the water molecules in a cell. This creates smaller particles called free radicals. These free radicals then rip through the DNA.
Free radicals is
Base
what fucked
pairs
me in
can be
Oregon.
swapped or deleted entirely,
Facts.
or the entire DNA strand can break apart.
When radiation
know
hits
that.
the
I
DNA,
did not know that.
it damages it. Most of the time, the damage is repaired, but often,
See, I
if
watch
there's
the
enough
videos. I
radiation,
never
this
have.
damage will persist. Sometimes it will lead to a disease like a cancer or a tumor or some other developmental problem.
Many of these mutations have no effect. The body either repairs them or they occur in parts of the DNA that don't serve an important function. But sometimes those repairs go wrong. And that's when lasting changes can happen, like the ones we see in Chernobyl. These changes can even be passed down to future generations. But some of the animals around Chernobyl aren't just mutated. They seem to have adapted and are thriving in their new environment.
Bro, okay, bro. You know how like frogs collect poison from like I don't know what it's called. They all do something different to collect their poison. If he says this frog collected poison from being radioactive, bro, niggas is cooked. Niggas is cooked. Cause like niggas is just cooked, bro. I don't even know what to say. Cause like realistically, how did all the other ones live?
Frog.
Like the herbivores, how they live eating the grass that's
here in the
poison?
exclusion zone, some of them are pitch black. The dark pigmentation likely comes from melanin. Melanin is what makes your skin darker in summer. Your body produces it to shield your skin from sunlight. But melanin can also help protect against other types of radiation. According to a 2022 study, the darkest frogs in Chernobyl were found in areas where radiation levels used to be especially high. So does that mean they've adapted to high radiation? Timothy Mousseau is not convinced.
That's cool.
He says the data isn't strong enough to prove a causal link.
Frogs in Chernobyl show no relationship between the melanism and radiation level currently. So inside Chernobyl zone, there are light frogs in highly radioactive areas and there are dark frogs in clean areas.
That is just one of the many scientific debates around Chernobyl's wildlife. What can truly be verified and what's too speculative?
That would be cool though, if that was.
Both sides hold firmly to their findings.
Or like confirmed.
There's another organism that may be putting the benefits of melanin to work. This black fungus. One of them grows here, right inside Reactor 4. One of the most irradiated places on the planet.
Alright, real question. Do you think they will open this back up to like do whatever they were doing there? So like I said, I don't know what they were doing there. I just know it was like a nuclear plant or whatever.
Radiation levels remain so high that nothing should be able to survive here.
Like years down the line, they don't just like try to? I don't know.
Multiple independent studies suggest that this fungus may actually
think about it, bro. 1986, in those days, they didn't have all the technology, but like nowadays, low key, I feel like we could clean it. I don't know. I could be wrong. I don't know how deep our technology is. Maybe hundreds of years ago.
Using gamma radiation as an energy source, much like plants use sunlight for photosynthesis. Unlike in the frogs, the melanin in this fungus doesn't just block radiation. It seems to convert it into energy, which the fungus then uses to grow. Melanized fungi like this one have been found in other highly radioactive places. Astronauts have even studied it aboard the International Space Station. Researchers hope that one day this fungus could act as a natural shield against radiation. Perhaps for space travel.
You see what I mean by technology and oh my god, just like the brains of people and all this, like, bro, what? These are problems that we wouldn't think we would need, but we wouldn't think we have, but we're gonna need to know for later in the future. It's crazy. This is actually crazy. The elephant paw is still there.
As for the fungi in the reactor, it's still unclear whether they've truly adapted to the radiation or if they were just inherently able to cope with it.
And Chernobyl's in Russia, right?
Larger mammals may have adapted to radiation exposure as well.
I don't even know where it is.
At least that's what biologist Kara Love and her colleagues at Princeton University believe. They suspect that wolves living in the Chernobyl exclusion zone may be less likely to develop cancer or more resilient to the disease overall, despite constant exposure to high radiation levels. The theory goes like this. Random and spontaneous mutations in DNA make some wolves less vulnerable to cancer. These wolves have a higher chance of survival, while others are more likely to die from the long-term effects of radiation, often from cancer itself. The survivors reproduce.
Wait, I just looked on the map. Not even gonna hold you, bro. I did not know Ukraine was that big. Never knew Ukraine was that big. I thought Ukraine was way smaller than what I'm looking at on this map. That joint almost the same size as France, bro. Maybe bigger. I can't really tell. Nah, that's crazy.
Natural.
I know when they're researching the elephant paw, they couldn't even enter the room for more than a minute without getting deadly amount of... Yeah, feel like that's valid. Like, bro, even like in an X-ray, you have to wear certain things because of the radiation. Imagine like just free, like he said, the free radicals and everything in the air when you breathe. That's crazy. Yo, what's good, Juan? You a little late, but you know what I'm saying? What's good, bro?
Selection happens. Their
Missed the
offspring
reaction
inherit the
again.
protective genes. Over time, they breed with wolves that are also better adapted to radiation, and so
Yeah,
on
leg
and so
cover.
forth. After a few generations, the whole pack is less prone to cancer. Researchers say the wolf's DNA evolved in regions around genes linked to the body's immune response to cancer.
Wow.
But is that actually realistic? The research hasn't been published yet, which means
A little I was sleep. Honestly valid. Also, sleep and just woke up at 7? Oh, wait, you work late at night. You right. My bad. My bad. That's on me, too. Not comfy, man. I mean, oh, yeah, you know they not comfy because you had it on. I was going to say, most of the people I had with patients and stuff, they just thug it out. So I just woke up 5 minutes ago. 5 minutes ago? Bro, you ain't even have time to wash your face for real. Let things be hella heavy. 7 to 8
there's no
times.
way for
And so
us
you gotta
or
start going to the
anyone
hospital, bro.
else to verify it. This study and many others have one thing in common. They all suggest that the Chernobyl nuclear disaster may have triggered evolution right before our eyes. Other scientists remain skeptical, including Timothy Mousseau.
We wrote a paper a few years ago where we reviewed all of the literature that had been published on Chernobyl, claiming to test for adaptations and rapid evolution. And in every case, except for maybe one, the data were too weak. They did not have the strength, the scientific strength to
See, as
support
somebody who
this.
like believes heavily in science and God, let's not get them confused. You know what I'm saying? Two separate things. No, the same thing. But science is just trying to learn what God did. I'm just saying. But anyways, that's another topic for another day. As a scientist or whatever, I believe in facts, bro. Like you saying, hard code facts, what you need. I ain't saying it's got to be 100% guaranteed facts, because you know not everything in life is when it comes to science. But like when you get the facts out, I'll believe it. Fell asleep around 11? Oh hell no. I got 8 X-rays and 2 MRIs and 1 EMG and 2 ESOTs. I know your hospital debt is crazy.
Hypothesis of adaptation.
Mousseau has studied
crazy,
potential
bro.
adaptations
The X-rays
himself.
alone got it.
He and his colleagues sampled colonies of certain bacteria in Denmark and at various sites
Staphylococcus
across
aureus.
Chernobyl.
I
The
love
colonies
that
are
one.
often found on the wings of swallows, among
Tired
other
of hearing that.
places. Back in the lab, they exposed
insurance is
both
wild.
sets of
Wait, what you
bacteria
mean?
to radiation. Some colonies from Chernobyl actually reproduced better under radiation,
Wow.
especially those that had lived for years in areas with moderate background radiation. By contrast, colonies from Denmark, as well as those from the most highly contaminated parts of Chernobyl, were far less resistant to radiation. Because the experiment was carried out under carefully controlled lab conditions, the researchers are confident that this adaptation wasn't caused by any other environmental factor. To study the animals of the exclusion zone, Timothy Mousseau set up around 100
These are the actual animals
motion-activated
of them?
cameras
They
throughout
are.
the area. In late 2021, they recorded something strange. Russian soldiers.
Wow.
In February 2022, Russia invaded Ukraine. Russian troops occupied the exclusion
Alright,
zone
bro.
for
So at that point, cesium and iodine. It's like it's not as deadly. But then again, that's 30 years later. You said the half-life was 30, right? So it's not as effective. If you want, I can send you some more shit. The thoughts. Send them to my Discord DM. And we're gonna look at it right here. And I'm gonna give you an honest opinion. Send them to my Discord thing. Don't send videos. Send the actual channels. Alright? And if you go 0 for 3 again, bruh, don't mention nothing else about things to react to, bruh.
Overnight, nearly all research in Chernobyl ground to a halt. Some scientists were forced to flee the zone. When the Russian forces finally withdrew in the spring of 2022, researchers returned to find their work in ruins.
Disappearance of
Military
nuclear
vehicles
material.
had kicked up
Nah, don't tell me they.
radioactive dust. Offices and labs had been ransacked. Computers and valuable equipment were stolen or destroyed. Long-term surveys were interrupted, and some irreplaceable research data may be lost forever. Several promising studies were put on hold indefinitely.
Russia got the code. They got the code, bruh. They finna nuke the fuck out of people and let them live and let them mutations live 30 years later. GG's, chat.
Kara Love and her team never got the chance to return and study the wolves in the field. It's a bitter blow to our understanding of the world. Don't forget to check out Planet Wild and become a member. If you want to see them in action, check out their project protecting one of Europe's last ancient forests.
Say Romanian primate. I've never heard of that, but that's cool. I'll look into that. But I'm not gonna lie. I hope y'all liked that video as much as I did. It was very informative, entertaining, and I love the animations. I'm really new to this Fern thing, so you know what I'm saying? I ain't really heard about Fern, but Fern kind of tough to me. But as I say all the time, like, comment, subscribe, link to the original video down in the description. And just like that, man, YVNG Taz out again. Deuces.